Greetings, blessings, and welcome to another empowering episode of Graceful Transitions. My name is Debreda Denise, and I am your host. And like I always say, I'm excited to be here with you on today and just to bring you another empowering series that will get you through your life transitions. Today, I'm starting a mini series called Life After Loss. And my special guest with us on today is Dr. Chere Goode. Welcome, Chere.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I want to read a little bit about your bio before we go into this wonderful conversation. Is that good?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the purpose of this discussion on today is to encourage and support those who may be grieving during the holiday season. I think it's so, like I was sharing with Dr. Cherie, it's so important for us to reach back and to share our experiences with others so they don't feel like they're alone. Because to be truthful, sometimes you can feel like you're alone going through a certain thing, but there is nothing new under the sun, so we can always be a blessing to someone else.
Yes.
So, Dr. Chere Goode, she is the founder and CEO of Total Harmony Enterprises, Make Me Over Wellness, and the Jordan Alexander Coalfield Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to her late son. With community support for her nonprofit organization awards scholarships to students attending HBCUs, supports grieving mothers as they navigate life after loss, and participates in numerous community service initiatives. Good is a mother. She's a creator of the Recharge Expo. She's a licensed practical nurse for the past 34 years. Wow, awesome. She's a
Mhm.
10-time number one Amazon best-selling international author, speaker, and wellness coach, as well as an American Heart and Stroke Association ambassador slash spokesperson. She is known as the Recharge Strategist. She teaches professional women strategies for self care to recharge their mental, physical, emotional batteries for success in life and business. Good has been featured on ABC, Dr. Oz, Wendy Williams, Baltimore's TV 25, Good Day Baltimore, Fox 45 News, Society Moms TV, Radio One, WOLB Radio, and a host of other platforms. She received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award and numerous other awards and government citations for her expertise in the areas of recharge strategies, navigating life after loss, stress management, self care, wellness, diabetes, and heart disease prevention. And all of it has impacted the lives of many, many people all over the world. So, wow, look, we're going to need a recording next time to say all of that about you. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's so important to recognize your things you accomplished. So thank you so much for sharing that. And so,
Absolutely.
Cherie, was there anything that we left off from your bio about you that we can share with the audience?
Um, I do so much. Look, I was listening to see, oh, I did that. Oh, okay, I did that.
Right.
Sometimes you don't recognize your accomplishments until you hear somebody else reading them.
So
But
true.
other than that, I do events and I'm also a vocalist, so I sing as well.
Awesome.
But I just enjoy life and live each day with purpose.
Amen. That's it. That's what we're here for. Amen. So let's see what's going to be our first. Normally, I focus on 3 points: the issue, the process, and the remedy. Losing anyone is not an issue per se, but I really want to first talk about the fact that you lost your son suddenly. It wasn't a
Yes.
sickness. It wasn't something that you had anticipated, if you can anticipate loss. But tell us, about what happened unexpectedly to your son.
So August 22nd of 2020, I had seen my son earlier in that day and spoke with him, but I was in the middle of doing a Zoom call for a youth camp that I do. So I wasn't able to like grab him and hug him up like I normally do and make him take a picture with me, not knowing that would be the last time that I would see him. And so 10 hours later, I get a phone call that he was in an accident. Just one exit on the Beltway from my home.
Wow.
And I get this horrific call from one of his friends screaming, saying, Jordan's gone. I was like, what do you mean he's gone? Where are you? Like, and being a nurse for so long, my first thoughts is maybe he's just hurt. I'll go to the scene. I'll make sure he gets the best care. He'll be okay. Um, he was in a tragic motorcycle crash, which my first question was, whose motorcycle was he driving? Because my son doesn't have a
Wow.
motorcycle. Well, I didn't know that he had purchased a motorcycle 4 days prior, and he didn't tell anyone because he knew that it would be something we would probably disparage as his
Right.
parents. And so he only had his motorcycle for 4 days. When I get to the accident scene, Jordan is actually gone. I saw his lifeless body on 795 in Owings Mills, Maryland, and that was the beginning of life just crashing all around me.
Wow. I don't know why I thought about this is a little away from the topic.
Mhm.
Well, I know I've told you this before, but my condolences with the
Thank
loss
you.
of your son. But when you said um, something about a crash, I thought about your first book.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
Crash
it's
That Altered My Life was my first book.
right.
And it's almost
Isn't that
like that came
something?
full circle. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, share with us a little bit about Jordan, um, his personality, his
Yeah.
accomplishments during his time here on Earth. Just share
Hmm.
a little bit about his memory.
Okay. Well, Jordan was my baby boy. He was 20 years old when he departed this life. He was a self-starter, energetic. He had a smile that would light up any room. His smile would actually get him extra food in the cafeteria at Morgan State University. That was some of the things that the cafeteria workers said, that he would always smile and get them to give him extra food. He was the starting wide receiver at Morgan State University. He was phenomenal with football as well as being a track star. So he had made his mark in the sports world. But not only was he athletic, he was also scholastic. He was on the dean's list. So he was an amazing, amazing young man who had a bright future ahead of him. And yeah, it was just so tragic and devastating to our family that his life was cut short.
Right, right. I think about um, it's amazing how you get connected with someone online, so you get to see part of their lives. And I think about
Hmm.
all the pictures you would post of him, even as a young person. He was playing football at an early age, correct?
Yes, he was playing football since, I think, I want to say the age of 7. There's
Wow.
not too many fields that I wasn't on. And I was the mom that would wear every color wig, lipstick, whatever to support him. I had my big cowbell that I would ring to let him know I was in the audience and cheer him on. So I was his big cheerleader. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you for sharing so much about Jordan. I know you're grateful for those memories, and those
Yeah.
memories most likely help to get you through different times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. And the photos. So we always had a
yes.
habit of taking pictures together whenever we
Hmm.
were together. So plenty of photos to go back, and I smile. Sometimes I laugh. And he was on TikTok. So he was a big TikTok guy. He was TikTok famous. And so
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
I'll just go back and look at his videos of him moving and living and laughing, and it brings a smile to my face.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get into the discussion. We know that this is the holiday season, and there are individuals who, because loss is a normal part of life, we know that there are individuals who may be currently grieving someone that they love.
Yes.
There are also even caretakers who are grieving the person that they knew the individual was that they're taking care of, and that in
Yeah.
itself, that's also grief. It can be really, really hard. I know personally, um, walking with my mom through dementia prior to her loss,
Yeah.
I was literally grieving throughout the whole process, and
Yeah,
that is that was the most that was a hard experience. Let me just say
yes,
that.
yeah. Because you slowly start to see pieces of that person deteriorating and
Yeah,
pieces of them going away. That person that you once knew, now they're slowly dwindling away, and it can be very heartbreaking.
yes. Yeah, so we want to give some encouragement to those who find themselves in that place at this
Yeah,
current time. Let's discuss the journey through grief. You can share your experience or also
yeah.
some tidbits that you can give to someone who's listening who may be having a hard time.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I think any given day you can go through all the steps of grief. You can go through every
Yes.
one of them in one day. And sometimes people think like, okay, today I'm in denial. No, you
Mm-hmm.
can go through denial, anger, acceptance, everything in one, all in one time. So I can remember just not even wanting to get up out of the bed.
Mm.
It was like, is this real? I thought I was just living a nightmare. I thought I was dreaming. It was just unreal. And it took me quite a while. I would say it took me at least 3 years to get back to being myself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was, days that I would be okay, but then other days it was like sliding down a slippery slope. I didn't want to get out of bed. And I allowed myself to feel whatever I felt each day. I gave myself that permission because no one knew what it felt like to lose my son. People can empathize with you, but they don't actually know every feeling like as a mom to lose her child. It's not the order of things. And so
Right.
even though I had a tremendous amount of support, it still was work that I had to do for myself to heal.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that you said you allowed yourself the time to feel.
Hmm.
When my husband passed away, I believe I was already in a place of I want to go out there and do my purpose and serve the world. So,
Yeah.
when that happened, I don't feel number one, I took enough time off work,
Mm.
went back to work. Um, that was too soon. And just
Okay.
went full speed ahead with life
Yeah.
and serving others. And I think as women, we're so go ho and always, doing something and wanting to help others that a lot of times we don't take the time that we need to pour into ourselves. Can you say some more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that Well, I think that when you lose someone very close to you, you don't know how to act, first of all. And it's not an act. It's not
Yeah.
an act, but you don't know how to be around people. You feel socially awkward.
Hmm.
So I remember just when people are around, it's like I didn't know how to be. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. It was just I was a hot mess. It was
You
a hot
wasn't a
mess.
hot mess. You was grieving.
I was
You were
right.
grieving.
At that moment, like grief is not pretty.
Not at all.
Sometimes it is a hot mess, and we don't
Hmm.
allow ourselves to just be that hot mess.
That's good.
And not worry about everybody else's expectations and literally focus on you. When you talked about work, at the time I was a hospice nurse. And so
Mm.
I was used to dealing with death and dying, but not death and dying of my child. So
Right.
it was totally different. And I stayed out for 3 months and then I tried to go back to work. But then that wasn't enough time because the first day that I went back to work, my job sent me to pronounce a body.
Oh, Jesus.
So can you imagine
Wow.
how horrendous that was? I couldn't get myself together, so I left out, went out for another 6 months. I mean, for another 3 months, and then so it was a total of 6 months that I was out. And when I did go back, I couldn't do that type of work anymore,
Hmm.
and it was okay.
Right.
I ended
Absolutely.
up changing the type of nursing that I did because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So again, giving yourself that permission. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking. Don't worry about how you're supposed to be around other people. That's the time to be selfish and really, really focus on yourself because it can make you or break you. Like I felt like I was losing my mind sometimes, but it wasn't losing my mind. It was grief.
Hmm.
So knowing, that there is no perfect definition of how a person grieves. Everyone grieves differently. Some
Right.
people are very outgoing and they have to be out and about and do things. Other
Hmm.
people stay in their bed. They feel like they don't want to get up. They lay around. They're listless. They have no interest in anything. I think I went through all of those.
Hmm.
I went through all
And,
of those, and it was okay.
yeah, and it's human nature.
Yeah.
I would be very afraid to not grieve someone
Hmm.
who you were in such a close relationship with. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think some people are in so much denial that
yeah.
that's what they're dealing with, that they don't believe that it's happened, that they're in denial. And so they don't grieve in the beginning, or they're
Hmm.
trying to be stoic for other people.
Hmm.
Like I can remember times where I was trying to hold it together for my older son. So I have one other son, Joshua,
Hmm.
and I was trying to kind of hold it together for him sometimes, but then it didn't work, and so I broke down. But he was trying to be stoic, so it took him longer than it even took me to get back to himself. I would say it took him probably another year after I had finally gotten myself together. But then
Yeah,
he had multiple losses because 6 months after Jordan died, their father died
my goodness.
suddenly also. So now he wasn't just dealing with the loss of his brother, he was dealing with the loss of his father and his brother at the
Wow.
same time. So with multiple losses, that's a whole nother thing that people have to deal with. Or if you've had losses so close together and you haven't dealt with one loss, then you compile another loss on top, it can really send someone spiraling down.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're only human, right? You
Absolutely.
know, you can
Absolutely.
like you said, you can harden the exterior, but so
Yeah.
long, and sometimes undealt with grief can hurt the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
so
it can.
so important to deal with it. Can you say a little bit about that as a nurse?
Yeah, because grief can actually affect your physical and your mental health. And so allowing yourself to feel whatever emotion that you feel is healthy. So what is grief? Grief is the love that you have for that person just crying out loud, screaming
Hmm.
out loud. It just shows the magnitude of love that you have for that person.
Yeah.
So why not let it show? Why not let it come on out? But when you're holding it in, it's almost like a pipe. If you cut off a piece of a pipe, but you're still trying to run water through it, eventually
Mm-hmm.
it's going to explode. So that's the same thing mentally, physically, emotionally. If you're not dealing with every feeling that you're having, then it kind of piles up. And then it's that one thing that'll take you, and then you either have a mental breakdown, or you're being aggressive to other people or being violent. It's going to come out one way or
One
another.
way,
Yeah,
yes,
one way or another,
one
it's going to
way or
come
another.
out. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
what they say, pressure bursts pipes. Well, that pressure of trying to hold everything in, and being stoic and feeling like, oh, I don't feel an emotion behind it, it
Mm-hmm.
will harm you one way or another, either your health or your mental state. And I felt like it for me. I had both the mental and the physical piece of it. So I was suffering from anxiety attacks because I had gone to the accident scene and saw my son's
Yeah,
body on the road. So every time I would close my
that
eyes, that
visual.
would that was the visual that I was getting. So I started having panic attacks, which is something I had never ever dealt with in my life before. And then that made it worse because I was trying to control it, and then I would burst out crying because I couldn't control having this panic attack or this anxiety
Right, because
attack.
it ain't supposed to be here. What is this?
Right, it wasn't supposed to be here. Right. And then physically, I can just remember my entire spine locked up. I had to go to
Oh
a
my.
chiropractor to be able to move. I went to get out of bed one day and couldn't get out of bed. And it was just my muscles had all tensed up around my spine. And I had to literally go and get sessions with a chiropractor in order to be able to move. I couldn't get out of bed. And so people think that
Oh,
grief is just a heart thing. It's not just your
mhm.
heart. It's mental, it's physical, it's emotional.
Holistically.
All the Yeah, all three
Hmm.
parts that make us who we are, make us whole. The physical, mental, and emotional pieces, those are the things that we have to hone in on, even on a regular day without the grief, just to
Right.
stay whole and perform self-care every single day. So if you throw in grief, it makes it even worse.
Right. When you said that, it's amazing. I thought back to after my husband died, and I made a massage appointment like a couple months later, and the woman said I
Hmm.
literally had knots around my
Yes.
spine.
Yep.
And I'm just like, because I was his caregiver. So I was
Yeah.
working, I was caring for outside, and I was
Hmm.
running up and down the road to doctor's appointments for him
Right.
and in the hospital when he was getting his treatments and all. So it has a toll on the body. It's like,
Yeah, it puts a insurmountable amount of stress on your
mm-hmm,
nervous system, and stress is like a slow poison
mm.
dripping in your veins.
And
It
sometimes
slow.
you don't feel
Eventually,
it.
it's gonna take over. Eventually, yeah.
And you may. God may keep you throughout the process where you're not knowing something is flaring because you're so focused on taking
Yep.
care of. But in the end, everything shows up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does. That's why
So
self-care, even before you go through traumatic events,
absolutely.
is so imperative. You can't skip self-care. You have to take care of yourself. You have to nurture your mind, your body, your
Yeah.
spirit every single day, even if it's just for short doses that you feed yourself self-care. You have to do it every day. So then when you do have these traumatic events, the trauma in your life, things that
Mm-hmm.
happen that are unplanned, unexpected, you're able to come through on the other side. You can turn your tragedies into triumph. You're
Yes.
able to still come out walking out of the fire.
Amen. And you're able to be more resilient.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because imagine if you somebody that has all types of health concerns,
Hmm.
and like you said, that traumatic incident happens on top of what you're already going through.
Yes.
It's like you have to make self care a priority, like you said, and not self
Hmm.
care. Self care is not always massages
And
and
hair and nails.
yeah, hair,
I
nail.
call that self-maintenance.
Oh, that's good. I
That's
like that.
self-maintenance. That's
Yeah,
not self-care. That's
right.
self-maintenance. You're maintaining your nails, you're maintaining your hair, you're maintaining your muscles and things like that
Hmm.
by doing that. Self-care is actually looking at what pieces of you are broken.
Oh,
What
wow.
pieces of you? Is it your mental state? Do you need peace of mind, or do you need to you need to rest? Do you need to eat healthier? So it's more of an internal job, the self care that
Hmm.
I'm speaking of. That's self maintenance when we go and we get glammed up and get our massages, our
Right,
nails, our hair done.
right.
And so often people say you got to do self care. Go get your hair done. No, that's something we do automatically. We mean going a little deeper and
Hmm.
having those moments of stillness and quiet where there's no TV, no radio, no computer, just you and your quiet thoughts that help you to focus and get you to the next step so that you're able to grow and become the best version of yourself that you want to be.
I love that. Over the past few years, I've gotten very comfortable with the silence.
Yes.
I wrote in one of the books I put together, I wrote in there, um, the quiet can be loud when you're not
Yes.
ready. Because if you're
Yes.
not ready to hear what God is whispering or the things that drop in your spirit about what you need to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's going to seem very
Yeah.
loud. So you're going to avoid quiet time at
Right.
all costs.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can remember after Jordan, I would avoid sleep
Oh, wow.
because I would constantly see his body, and that wasn't something I could deal with.
Right.
So like I can remember my family trying to give me medicine. I wouldn't take it. They tried to put it in my food. I wasn't eating, so they weren't giving it to me. So I would fall asleep for 5 minutes and then wake right back up.
Oh,
And then
wow.
as far as food, I didn't want food. So then when they would find one thing that I would eat, they'd be like, "Give her another plate of it. Give her."
They're trying to fill
So
you up.
trying to just keep me whole. So
Yes.
can you imagine you're not sleeping? So your
Mm.
thoughts are not clear. You're not focused. Like somebody could tell me something. I had temporary amnesia also after Jordan. You could
Wow.
tell me the sky is blue and I would turn right back around. What color did you say the sky is? Like it was that bad.
Hmm.
It was short term memory loss that I had. And I
Wow.
even went to the doctor about it because it lasted for quite a while. And I was very good at masking. So that's the other thing. Like when you're dealing with grief, people
Hmm.
mask
Right.
really, really well. Like I would mask and I would pretend that I knew who people were. I didn't know who they were.
Mm.
I literally couldn't remember anything. I went to the doctor and she said, I think you need to give yourself a lot of grace. I think you're being too hard on yourself. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. Like that's how serious it is when you're grieving. Like I didn't know you could even have post traumatic like
Mm.
amnesia.
That's
And I'm in
deep.
the medical field. And
Right.
so she said, you just dealt with a serious trauma. You
Right.
give yourself time, it will come back. And so it did. It came back. But it took a while. I'm not kidding. It really took a while. So there's somebody out there that's probably thinking like they're going crazy right now. No, it's a traumatic experience. We never know how our bodies or our mind is going to respond to it.
I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I do believe that's important for people to know that it's not just what happened, but it's the residue from it, how it can
Yeah.
have an effect on you. So let's see. I wanted to talk about what would you say to that person that just lost a loved one and they don't know where to start, what to do,
Mm.
they're just confused and of course heartbroken.
I would say to them, take it one day at a time. Um,
Excellent.
we think so far about the future when literally when you're grieving, every single minute, every single second, every day matters. As long as you keep getting up, it doesn't have to look pretty. Just keep getting up.
Yes.
So there were days you're gonna laugh at this one that I didn't shower. It's okay.
Mhm.
There were days I laid in bed all day. It's okay. You just can't stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
Allow
single
yourself to
day.
feel it in
Yes,
whatever
allow yourself to
manner.
feel it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's all right. But
Yeah.
also don't isolate yourself to the point where you don't allow others to be there for you. So I had an
Mhm.
outpouring of support, but at some points it became overwhelming and
Yeah.
cumbersome. So I had to set hours that I would allow people to
Oh,
be
that's
there.
smart. Yeah, that's a
So I said,
boundary.
everybody had, yes, have boundaries. Everybody has to be gone by 9 or 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So people were coming, but they were camping out, and it was just too much. Can you imagine? I already wasn't sleeping, and
Right.
then I'm trying to be stoic while people was around because you don't want everybody to see you really breaking down and snotting and falling to the floor. It's like you try to stay strong, but those emotions are kind of bottled up, and we just talked about that earlier. You don't want to
Mm,
bottle up those emotions because then you do break.
won't explode.
So yeah,
Yeah.
allow yourself to feel. Try your best to eat. Try your best to sleep. But sometimes those aren't going to happen. Just every single day, have that determination that this is not going to take me out. And that's what I
Amen.
had to kept telling myself. You got this. You can do this. God's not going to give you more than you can bear. He's not going to give you more than you can bear. And I had to like literally talk to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Hmm.
answer,
We
but I
need to
did
do that
talk.
more often if the truth be
Yeah,
told.
yeah, yeah.
Because
And so
sometimes I'm
every
like,
day,
D, no, you're not doing that. D,
yeah,
I'm not, don't say that. It's
yeah,
sometimes you have to talk to yourself.
yes, yes. I just didn't answer.
That.
Don't go
That's
answering
cause
yourself
for
now.
concern.
Right. So yeah, so sometimes I had to talk to myself. Come on, you gotta get up. You gotta go eat. You gotta keep pushing. You have another. I had another son. I'm like, you have another son who
Hmm.
needs you too. So
Yeah.
you can't just give up everything. But definitely get a support system. I also joined a support group,
Yes.
and I did that early on. It was for a group called Bridge of Support. I will never forget the owner Tracy. She lost her son, and he was a football player, and he
Wow.
actually passed away on the field. So every time we think that our situation is like the worst in the world, somebody else is dealing with something even worse than what you
That's so
dealt with.
true.
And so that helped me because I went and those ladies put their hands on me and they like literally let me scream and cry and they knew what it felt like. And
Right.
I realized that this was going to now be a new way of life for me losing a child because some of these women they were there and their child had been dead for 20 years and 15
Mm,
years and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is never going to end. This is the new norm for me that I'm never ever going to completely get over. I'll never forget this happening. Sometimes we have things that happen and we're like, oh, okay, whatever. It is
mm-hmm.
what it is.
And
It
keep it
happened, and I
moving.
can keep going. You keep
Mm-hmm.
exactly keep it moving. This was something that when I heard these women like say, "Oh, my son died 15 years ago," and they're still here crying, and some of them like 20 years ago, my son got killed, and they were still there crying. I knew that this is going to be an ongoing healing journey for me. And
Absolutely.
then the other thing that I did outside of a support group and picked a support group that actually clicks with what happened when you're in your grief situation. Don't just do something, pick
Generic.
any generic group.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a group that, knows exactly, not exactly how you feel, but close to what you're going through. So these were all moms. These were all moms that were grieving. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I needed to know, like, hey, is what I'm feeling normal? And they validated a lot of the feelings that I had, so that helped me to heal. And then I got a grief counselor.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I got the grief counselor, I felt like I got her too soon. I
Okay.
wasn't ready yet. I got her at like around I want to say like 2 or 3 month mark, and it was not the time. So the good part about counseling is you choose when you want it and when you don't. So
Hmm.
I put it down, and then when I was ready again around the 6 month mark, I picked it back up.
That's
And
good.
I
I
used
like,
the same lady.
yeah, I like that you went back.
Yeah.
And I like that you said that it's in your timing to not
Yes,
try
in
to
your time.
force anything, to find the group
Yeah.
or people that work for you as a support. Um, Something else that you said that I wanted to touch on. Oh God, I lost. I was trying to look. I was trying to take notes so I wouldn't forget. But
Yeah.
so you talked about we talked about the importance of self care.
Yes.
Um, until what I need to ask you comes back, I wanted to, if you could talk about, we talked about honoring your feelings, correct? I think you touched on that a
Absolutely.
little bit. You
And
honor,
setting boundaries too.
yes,
We
and
talked about
honor,
setting boundaries.
yes, honoring your loved one's memory. Um, what about leaning into the memories and what you're doing now through the foundation, honoring Jordan's memory?
Yeah, so a lot of times when we're going through things, um, helping others will make your problem seem less cumbersome. So, or your trauma or your tragedy, helping others takes your mind off of it. So I wanted to, I knew first of all that I wasn't going to let Jordan's legacy die. Jordan had such a legacy, and he had he had so many people that he helped in the community. But he served his community. He always was the person that would reach out to the underdog and encourage them to keep
Good.
going. I can remember his funeral. There were kids that would come to the mic and they said, "If it wasn't for Jordan, I wouldn't even be in college." And some of the kids came and they said they ran track because Jordan ran track. And they said they knew that if they stayed close to him, they didn't have to place and they didn't have to win, but they knew that if they stayed close to him, that they would succeed.
Mhm.
That was so heartwarming for a mom to hear that he
Yes.
impacted other people's lives like that. Yeah, so I knew that I wasn't going to let that legacy die. I knew that I wasn't going to let his memory die. And so I started the Jordan Alexander Cofield Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization where not only do we help grieving mothers to rise, and I call it Grieving Mothers Rising because
Hmm.
every day
Yes.
it's a task to get up every single day, no matter how long it's been. It never You never get here and like, okay, I've risen and now I'm
I'm
over
done
it.
with it.
No, it never. So it's Grieving Mothers Rising, where we do things to just find some normalcy in life again. Because you feel guilty when you want to have fun again.
Hmm.
And, after you feel like you've gotten to a point where now I want to find some normalcy in my life, you kind of feel guilt. Like, am I supposed to be laughing this soon?
What's
Am
that?
I supposed to be
Survivor's
enjoying?
remorse. Survivor's
Yeah,
remorse.
survivor's remorse, and also just grief itself. You don't know how
Yeah.
long am I supposed to grieve. And so we do that. And then we also do community service where we adopted a roadway in Jordan's honor in Owings Mills, and we clean it 4 times a year. And there's signage in 2 directions with his name on it. So Jordan loved to see his name in lights. So I said, we have to make sure we do
That's
something to keep
great.
his name where people see his name. So I did that. And then lastly, we do a gala every year. We do fundraising initiatives to send kids to college, to HBCUs. So now there is a scholarship that is out in Jordan's name. It's the Jordan Alexander Cofield uh, Scholarship. And I'm so happy to say we have sent 8 kids to college in his name in the short
Awesome.
5 years that he's been gone. It's been 5 years
Hmm.
and it's time flies because I can't believe it's been
Too
5 years.
fast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I started the organization a year after his death. That's when I went to work. I gave myself a year to kind of just get it together because I was a
Hmm.
mess. I was a
Hmm.
mess, and
Hmm.
grief again is messy. It's not a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. It looks very very ugly, but that's okay. Go through it to get through it. Make sure that you are doing something every day for yourself to stay whole. And I gave myself that year, and then I went to work. I was like, this boy is not going to be forgotten as long as
Right.
I have breath in my body, and we're going to help others along the way so that this legacy can continue. His legacy, people will not forget Jordan. And I was in the mall the other day, and a gentleman that went to school, he was friends with Jordan. He still had Jordan's necklace on a medallion around his
Oh
neck.
my
And I
God.
just grabbed him and gave him a big old hug. And I'm like, that's when you know you have made a serious impact in people's lives when 5 years later, people forget, they're like,
Yeah.
people forget, but but the mother doesn't ever forget, or family doesn't
Hmm.
forget, but people will forget, people that have passed away and keep on going on with life, and life keeps life, and while you're still
Hmm.
stuck in this place of grief. But for him to still have Jordan around his neck 5 years later was really heartwarming to me.
That's beautiful. He really made a mark
Yes.
here during his short, you can say short because he was so
Yeah.
young, right? Time
20
here on
years.
earth.
Yeah.
That's such a blessing,
Yeah.
sometimes I think about what are people in heaven, seeing, thinking,
Yeah.
feeling, about, especially like in this case where his memory continues to live on, and
Yeah.
what he did easily in helping others is still going on. That's the true definition of legacy.
Yes,
Which
absolutely.
Yeah, which we all should try to give out naturally, not to
Yeah.
perform to make it happen, but to give
Yeah.
out naturally to where we really make a difference in each other's lives.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think
Sure.
so. I wanted to for us to talk about grief, the process of
Yeah.
grieving. Something you mentioned while we were chatting. You mentioned the timing. I think it's important for the healing, to take place effectively is not
Yes.
place yourself in a box and say, oh, I have to heal within this time frame.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
And
and and also not letting grief consume you.
yes.
So one of the ways that I started to heal was I got this little dog that just came up on the camera.
I
He was
see him.
determined to make his mark on this show today. But
Tell him
I got him.
welcome.
I needed something to take care of. I felt
Yeah.
like I needed something to take care of. So I got Miko is his name. I got him as a 6 week old puppy and made him a support animal. So he is a
Oh, I love
support
that.
animal. It helped me with my anxiety and grief, and I would just put him on my lap and rub him. And that was one of the
Mm-hmm.
ways that really helped me to feel better. And taking care of him took my mind off of what I was really going through, having to take care of him, have to feed him, have to walk him, have to do things like that. That helped.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
also just um, things like if I wanted to sleep in, sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
Turning my pain into purpose, like we talked about, finding projects to do, like, keep that person's legacy alive, keep their memory alive. They meant the world to you. Tell others, share your story, because you never know how your story is going to help someone else.
Most
So that was
definitely.
a part of my healing. Another thing was, not only just finding ways to honor your loved one, but keep their memory alive, and then also avoid isolating yourself. That was one of the biggest things. I found that when I was by myself was when I grieved the hardest.
Mm.
I just found that I would go down the slippery slope. I would just wake up crying and just sit in the bed and cry all day. But when I had other people coming over, I would get myself together. One of the things that people used to laugh, they thought that I just liked taking selfies, and I would post a lot of pictures on Facebook and social media, but that was my way of getting up every day.
Oh, wow. That's
So I
powerful.
said, people are watching, they want to see how I'm doing. Let me get up, put my makeup on, and get on and take a picture. And so
Mm-hmm.
that became a daily thing for me. And people may think it's crazy, like, hey, she just love herself that much. No, that wasn't it. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was
You
my
like, I
way.
do, but that
Yeah, I
wasn't it.
do. Yes, I love myself, but look, not that aggressively.
Right.
But I was posting a selfie every day to let people know I'm still alive. I'm okay.
Oh,
Or
powerful.
I'm working through it. And so if they didn't see a selfie, people reached out. When you didn't post your selfie today, what's going on? Are you all right?
Oh.
And so it was my way of making myself get up every day and get cleaned up and wash my face and put makeup on and start to live again. So something that simple people take for
Mm-hmm.
granted, that, hey, I got up and I took a picture today. And I shared my grief openly. So don't be
Oh,
ashamed
yeah.
of your grief. Share
Mm-hmm.
it openly. I mean, I shared from the beginning, from the day that he passed until today. I still share memories of him on social media as they
Mm-hmm.
pop up. And I'm like, wow, this is a serious throwback. Or wow, look at this memory. Or wow, I was that mom that was screaming with the cowbell with the videos. And they were like, we know that's your baby. We know, we know. So why I don't have to stop being his
Why stop
cheerleader
now?
now. Why
Yeah,
stop
I
now?
love that.
And then
Uh,
another thing that was really instrumental in keeping me from letting grief consume me was to put put colors into your life, infuse colors, incorporate
mhm.
colors in your life. When you're grieving, don't go and pick the darkest thing out of your closet. Pick out bright colors. Put
Some
on bright,
cheer.
yes. because colors exude energy, life, vitality. Bright colors do. But if
Hmm.
you put on dark blues and black, you're going to feel the way that you dress. The things
Hmm.
that you put on should not make you feel lower than what you already feel. Grief is a low time. So put on bright colors, go outside, get some sunshine, get some
Hmm.
sunlight. Yeah, I turned my deck on my home into like a zen space. But that zen space had bright colors. I put oranges and teals and bright yellow and things out there, and I would go out every single day and I would sit outside. And I would sit outside and I would play like Zen music. Um, I would take in the vitamin D from the sun. And sometimes I would just have my glass of wine out there. And then I can recall one time a butterfly, while I was out there working, a butterfly came and just sit beside me
Oh my
for
goodness.
like 15, 20 minutes. And the strange thing was that not that it was a butterfly, but how long it stayed
Hmm.
and the fact that it was Morgan State colors. And
My
I'd never seen a
goodness.
blue and orange butterfly before in my life. And when Jordan first passed away, white butterflies just hovered around my home all the time. Like I could walk up to the butterflies and they wouldn't move. And I would video it and put it out there like, guys, look at this. Even when I went to the Bahamas, I was sitting in an open bus and a swarm of white butterflies just came and hovered over my head to the point that my family came running over to the bus. Was like, Jordan, Jordan,
Oh my
So
goodness.
like when you do things for yourself, there's subtle things that may speak to you about the person that you lost. And sometimes, if you're not a spiritual person, you may not get it, but I'm a spiritual person also. And so they had significant meaning. And so
Hmm.
whenever I see a butterfly instantly, I'm like, okay, George,
Hmm.
and then there
He's
were
like, Mom,
songs.
keep going, Mom.
Yeah, keep going, right. And then there were songs that would come on the radio. Every time I would get in my vehicle, the same song would come on from the beginning as soon as I would get in the vehicle. And so those were things like that that I grasped and I held on to that brought me comfort also. So find little ways that you know that person is still around. They're
Hmm.
still in your space. They're still around, letting you know their presence is there, even though their physical body is not.
One thing, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. And we're going to wrap this up, but I remember what I meant to bring up the last time. You were talking about a mom losing a child. And I've heard the term often that children are like your heart outside of your chest.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like it's normal to grieve, it's so hard for someone who was a part of you. you
Yes.
know Nobody, no male, nobody else can bring a baby into this world other
Right.
than a mom. He came from your womb,
Yes.
so that's understandable that you would have, that level of grief. And
Yeah.
it's not a comparison in the
Right.
various types of grief, but yeah, I can definitely understand that.
And it's the
um
closest that a person can be into you, be
in
to
your life.
you as being
Hmm.
inside of you. And you
Right.
carried this child for 9 months, and then you birthed this child. This is a
A
part of you,
bond.
a bond that can never ever be replaced. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So, as someone who's connected with you online, who has been witnessed through your process, I just thank God for your
Yeah.
continual recovery, in the
Thank
loss of
you.
your son, and you for just being an individual who learned that not to look at grief in a box like it's
Yeah.
supposed to happen like this and this, but you
Exactly.
grieved on your own terms, and you're on the other side of that. And I love that you're empowering others who find themselves in that place, in those places rather,
Yeah.
through many different forms, and it's has created this wonderful purpose in your life. So continue being a
Mhm.
light.
Thank you.
Continue to just being all that you can be. You are. Continue to be all that God has made you to be, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank
Couldn't
you.
get it
Thank
out.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We had talked earlier that you have a collaborative book,
Yeah.
Permission to Feel and Heal. Will you say something
Yeah.
about that?
Absolutely. So, as I was going through my grief journey, I knew that I was the only one out here grieving. Even though I was sharing my story and my story may be authentic to what somebody else's story may be, people lose their parents, people lose siblings, people lose spouses, and everybody's journey is different.
Different.
So I didn't want to exclude anybody. And so I did this book collaboration called Permission to Feel and Heal, where I had all these authors to join me and tell about who they lost and then how they recovered from their loss, how they healed, what was their healing journey like. And so my story may not help you, but maybe someone else in this book they can help you. But it's called Permission to Feel and Heal: Courageous Testimonies of Individuals Healing After Loss. And
Awesome.
so this book became a number one bestseller on the first day we released it, which let me know that there are people out here grieving. I just got another order for 24 of these books last week, and I'm waiting on that order to come in for a gentleman who wants to pass these out for the holidays.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially with the holidays coming up, birthdays, holidays, it's a time where grief creeps back in. It
Hmm.
creeps back in, and when you're looking around and you're seeing your family and that one loved one is not there, it takes you there all over again. Like I know some holidays I look and I just get like kind of sad. I used
Yeah.
to bake sweet potato pies for Jordan. He would request all these pies and he would steal all the pies and take them to the college for the kids and everything. Now his brother takes the pies. But that was a thing that Jordan found joy in around the holidays. So I bake pies on Thanksgiving, sweet potato pies on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I still continue that. Now everybody takes a pie home. And so I do things like that just to keep his
Hmm.
memory. Sometimes I'll wear his clothes with his shirt with his name on it or his face on it. Um, I was the mom that went and got tattoos. Jordan was tatted up, so he loved tattoos. As soon as he went to college, he got tattoos on his arms, which I told him not to do, but he did it anyway.
Of course.
And so after he died, I went and got tattoos on my I got a tattoo on my arm and on my chest that has his name, and then I have a tattoo on my arm that has a tribute to Jordan on it. So I did that in memory of him. So you have to find ways
Yeah.
that bring you peace, bring you joy, keep their memory in close to you. And so I have a lifeline with both my son's name on it, a heartbeat and a
Oh, I love that.
lifeline. Because they were my heart. I always called my sons my heartbeats.
Yeah.
So no matter what it takes, you know yourself better than anybody else. So don't let anyone tell you how to grieve. Don't let anyone tell you how to bring honor to that person or remember that person. Do what feels good to you. You're the one that has to heal from it. So make
Hmm.
sure that you're doing things that's gonna make you feel better or get you through a very, very rough time. Because grief is really a horrible thing. Again, it's the love you have for that person screaming out loud. So do whatever you need to do to get over to the other side of that healing. Because if somebody told me on August 22nd, 2020, I would be losing my 20-year-old son, and then I would be where I am today, I wouldn't believe you. So it is
So
possible to heal.
to heal and recover is possible.
Absolutely.
Just
Yes.
don't give up. Don't give
Don't give
up.
up.
Yeah.
And you
So,
may have those feelings. I had feelings where I didn't want to live. I was like, why is he alive? And then I'm not, I just didn't want to exist. I was like, I want to live. I never felt like I wanted to harm myself, but there's somebody out there that may feel like they want to take their life. Don't do that. That's not what your loved one would want you to do. And then,
amen.
especially after his father died 6 months later, I was kind of angry.
Hmm.
And I was like, didn't you think I wanted to see Jordan again? And I was angry and I was crying and I was like, I wanted to see him again and you get to see him. I felt
Oh,
jealous.
wow.
Like you get
Wow.
to see him again and I don't get to see him. Those were real feelings that I share
Human
openly.
emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know what can happen that's going to take you spiraling right back down. And I really didn't have a chance to deal with losing their father because I was still trying to heal from losing my son. So when you
Right.
have multiple losses, it is imperative that you get some help. You can't do it. You
Absolutely.
cannot do it alone.
Not
Get a
at all.
counselor, get somebody. They may be telling you things you already know. Like my counselor told me every single day when you wake up, take a pulse. How do you feel? And then in the middle of your day, take a pulse. How do you feel? And she said, you'll notice again, like you're going to have all these different emotions. And she actually wrote a chapter in the book also to help with the healing.
Excellent.
So, yeah, whatever it takes to get you through to the other side, that's what you do.
Amen. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
absolutely.
for taking time out of your day to join me
Sure.
for this conversation. Yeah, I pray that someone is blessed by what was shared during our convo on today, and that they just embrace humanity, their humanity, and this process and unfortunate place where they may find themselves. but no, it doesn't have to be the end of their stories. And then there's someone that they can use their testimony to empower someone else. And there is life after loss. Amen.
Yeah. Yes. Amen. Amen. Remember that your loved one, their life may have been cut short. Their story may have been cut short. It's up to you to finish their story for them.
To continue it.
Yep.
Amen. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to grab
Absolutely.
permission to feel and heal myself.
Sure.
I think that's like, and I like the idea of that gentleman who's buying a couple and is going to give them out to others because we need all the
Yes.
resources, testimonies, and support that we can give to continue to live and walk out this life. So thank you again for sharing your wonderful testimony and
Absolutely.
continually walking out your process through healing and grieving from the loss of your wonderful son, Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and allowing
You're
me to share.
welcome.
I hope this helps someone out
Yes.
there to just keep going and heal from their grief.
Absolutely. That was the main goal for this. So if you have to watch it once, twice, if you have to get that book, if you have to scream, do what you got to
Yeah.
do, but just never, never, never give up. Thank you
And
for tuning
don't
in.
forget to visit the website to learn more about Jordan,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
JAC Foundation Inc.com. That's JAC Foundation Inc.com.
Yes, so say more. I know you mentioned the scholarships and
Yes.
everything. So what's the scholarship process? Share more about it, unless it's all on the website and you want them to get it there.
They can get it on the website, but sure, like so you just have to be attending an HBCU and have a 3.0 or higher GPA. That's it. Your financial status is not a determining factor. Your race is not a determining factor. So you don't have to be African American, but you have to be attending an HBCU. So there's no other major things. If you played sports, fine. If you didn't or you have in the past, just put that in there. But that's not a determining factor. So please fill it out. The application process is open from August to August every year. So it is open now. It doesn't end until right before our annual fundraising gala. Our next one is August 22nd of 2026. So the location is to be determined, but stay tuned for that. It will be on the website.
Excellent.
All
Excellent.
right.
Keep up the good work. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining me. Have a wonderful and a blessed holiday. So thank you again for tuning
Thank
in
you.
to the Graceful Transitions broadcast. My name is Debreda Denise. I am your host. I am excited to bring you these empowering conversations that will assist you in your journey as you transition through the phases of life. Thank you for tuning into the broadcast. Please leave your name, a comment, a question in the comments, and we will surely get back to you online.